we got some rather large news about the release date for the upcoming Destiny 2 DLC Shadowkeep, plus a sneak peek at some quality of life changes we'll be experiencing very soon in the live game, and even more than that in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly Blog, This Week at Bungie, for the week of Thursday, August 1st, 2019. There was a lot of big stuff that happened this week, so let's just go ahead and dive on into it. Now, as I'm sure most of you have already heard by now, we got a major announcement about the release date for Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. Unfortunately, it's been delayed just a little bit. Earlier today, we got a brand new article from Bungie announcing the change that Destiny 2 Shadowkeep was having its release date of September 17th moved a few weeks back to October 1st. And the article gave us a little bit of clarification on why exactly Bungie's making this change. And they kind of go over that right here in the TWAB. We actually get to hear from both Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy about this. And here's exactly what they had to say. As we've been getting closer and closer to serving up Shadowkeep in new light, it has become increasingly clear to us that our releases for this fall would benefit from a bit more time in the oven. Being independent means that the future of Destiny 2 is entirely on our team. It also means that we're agile enough to choose to do what's best for the game and our players, even if it's the hard choice. We wanted to let you, our community, be the first to know that we're changing the date for Destiny 2 Shadowkeep and New Light from September 17th to October 1st. And then the article goes into greater details about what exactly is going on here. We also learn a bit more information about Shadowkeep as well, like the name of the raid. It's going to be titled the Garden of Salvation. And the world's first race for that is going to begin on Saturday, October 5th. Of course, it's going to be a weekend raid race, and the raid contest modifiers will be active. They're also going to be extending Moments of Triumph all the way through September 17th. You'll have an additional 3 weeks to complete this year's challenges and unlock all of the in-game and Bungie rewards. Moving on, they're also going to be running an additional Iron Banner the week of September 17th as well. And cross-save will come online later this summer, so you'll still have time to sort out your friends list well ahead of the Shadowkeep release. But there we go, that's the biggest bit of news to drop today. Definitely a surprise. And one that I'm sure a lot of players out there are a little bit bummed by. But if you were to ask me, honestly, while of course I was super psyched to have the game coming out on September 17th, and I'm bummed to hear that the release date has been pushed back a couple of weeks, if they're taking a bit more time to let this cake bake a little bit longer to make sure that it comes out in a working, functional fashion and in the way that they envision Shadowkeep being, I think that's a pretty good reason to push things back. And honestly, I have to say, man, I said this on stream earlier today, I could not imagine them being able to do this under Activision. That's probably not the kind of environment where this sort of decision would have been allowed. But like I said before, I'd rather them take all the time they need to release the perfect expansion, make sure everything's working right off the bat with no real crazy crunch times to make the deadline. Take the time to do something right. And if that's what's going on here, I'm perfectly fine with it. I can wait another couple of weeks for Shadowkeep. But alright, moving on from there, we've also got some other things to talk about this week. The biggest takeaway, of course, there is just that the release date has been pushed back to October 1st. But alright, of course, Solstice of Heroes has been live this week, and there's been plenty of madness and mayhem going on in there. But we've also got a brand new content release schedule to look forward to, as well as a sneak peek at an upcoming quality of life update. And all of that's covered in this section of the TWAB. With 2 more weeks on our Season of Opulence calendar, we're taking an opportunity to make players feel truly opulent. Moments of Triumph is being extended for those hunting their prize ship, Sparrow, and T-shirt. Multiple Iron Banners will happen during the final month, and a few Valor and Infamy boosts to help Guardians reach some milestones before the end of the season. Here's a quick calendar for what we have planned. And then we get the updated content roadmap. Of course, right now we have the Solstice of Heroes going on. But as you can see here, for the week of August 27th going into September 3rd, we're going to have the return of the Iron Banner once again. After that, for the week of September 3rd to the 9th, we get Destiny 2 Update 2.5.2.2. This is going to have quite a few quality of life changes that we'll cover in just a second. Some of them are fairly significant. I think you'll be pretty happy with them. Then, from the week of September 10th to the 17th, we've got the Moments of Triumph week and an Infamy boost. The week after that will be another round of the Iron Banner, and then finally, for the week of September 24th going all the way to October 1st and the Shadowkeep reveal, is going to be the return of the Mayhem game mode, Valor boost in Crucible, as well as an Infamy boost. Meaning, even though we're not getting Shadowkeep quite as early as we were thinking, they've made sure to pad out the last 2 months of content before it does in October. Not too bad at all. But of course, alongside this tease of an update, we actually got a sneak peek at a few of the things that are going to be changing in Destiny 2 Update 2.5.2.2. Here's your preview. First up, Moments of Triumph have been extended through September 17th. Gambit Prime and Reckoning weapon reward rates will be highly increased. They will also have a bad luck protection to guarantee a drop after a set amount of runs. This is a major change for Gambit Prime and Reckoning. You might recognize Reckoning as probably one of the worst PvE modes in the game right now, not just because of how tedious it is to run, which gets addressed a little bit further down if you want to do some reading ahead, but also because the rewards are so inconsistent in there. So getting a reward drop rate increase is fantastic, and the fact that they're going to be guaranteeing a drop after a set amount of runs is another great choice. For those of you out there who are going for the Reckoner title, this is probably exactly what you wanted to hear. Very happy to hear that. Next up, Reckoning difficulty will be tuned to be more welcoming as you hunt for rewards. Yes, this is something I've complained about for a long time. I've talked about it multiple times, both here on the channel and on the podcast and all that kind of stuff, and Nim has as well. But basically, the Reckoning was an activity that was built up with certain supers in mind, and certain exotics that boosted those supers in mind. Stuff like Well of Radiance with Phoenix Protocol, the Orpheus rigs, stuff like that. And when those exotics got a bit of a nerf a little while back, unfortunately, they never really retuned the Reckoning to accommodate for the fact that those exotics were now no longer, well, quite as powerful as they were before. And it really just kind of makes Tier 2 and especially Tier 3 Reckoning an absolute pain to run. So thankfully, that's finally being addressed in Destiny 2 Update 2.5.2.2. Cannot wait to see what they're doing there. Next up, Braytech schematics will no longer have a daily lockout and will give better chances towards weapons that players do not own. Another fantastic change for you completionists out there. Next up, for the Mountaintop and the Wendigo GL3, Pinnacle quests will become more accessible. Wonder what that means. They're probably going to knock down for the Mountaintop, to be perfectly honest. They're probably just going to knock down the number of double and triple kills you need to complete that quest. I remember when I got it done, that was a nightmare. You just basically had to either wait for Mayhem and tether people, or wait for Iron Banner and just shoot and pray. It's crazy. And I'd imagine it's going to be a similar change for the Wendigo with the amount of grenade launcher kills you're required to get for that. Specific quest objectives will be tuned based on player feedback. This is fantastic to hear, that they're taking in the feedback that players are giving them on, parts of the game that they don't really like too much, and they're making active changes. Good stuff. Next, there will be multiple weeks of increased Valor and Infamy to look forward to in September. We covered that. Iron Banner will be accompanied by increased Valor in each event, of course. And as the season comes to a close, Menagerie Chest will become more rewarding as Callus sees fit. There we go. Something we've talked about quite a bit. The Menagerie just don't feel the same without the cheese. And while I understand we can't have infinite chests for that game mode, I think more than one reward per run is definitely in order. And it looks like Bungie and Loot Daddy Callus might be in agreement there. Fantastic to hear. Finally, of course, on the week of Destiny 2 Update 2.5.2.2, we'll be hosting a community challenge of sorts. Stay tuned for more details. Then, of course, they have a little note at the end. While Moments of Triumph has been extended, Solstice of Heroes will end on August 27th. If you wish to complete all Moments of Triumph, be sure to earn your Legendary Solstice set and Masterwork One Piece before that deadline. So even though Moments of Triumph is being extended to the 17th, Solstice of Heroes is ending on the 27th of this month. We're already in August, so make sure you get it done. But alright, Guardians, there we go. That's it for the biggest bits of news covered in this week's issue of the Bungie Weekly blog, This Week at Bungie. A lot of stuff to talk about in there. How do you feel about the Shadowkeep delay? Are you bummed we won't be getting it quite as early as possible? Or do you think another couple of weeks isn't too bad of a wait? What about the quality of life changes we just covered coming in Update 2.5.2.2? Are you psyched about the changes to the Reckoning? I know I am. But anyways, whatever your thoughts, be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. And I couldn't end this video without giving a shout out to one of Bungie's beloved community managers, Cosmo. He just had his second baby girl. He's got pictures of her up over on his Twitter page, which you can find at Cosmo23 on Twitter. Go give the man a shout out, and congratulations, buddy. But anyways, that's it for this one, Guardians. Be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. That's it for me. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.